This is Jace from the Comic Source, coming to you live once again from the floor of San Diego Comic-Con with a super talented creator named Dirge, who has the cutest little dead girl in all of fiction, Lenore. Let's talk a little bit, if our audience is not familiar, who is Lenore, kind of the elevator pitch, if you will.
Lenore's the cute little dead girl. She lives in a mansion on a hill with her best friends, demon bucket-headed bounty hunter named Pooty Applewater, and her best friend Ragamuffin, a vampire that's been turned into a harmless little plushie.
It's a comedy, it's dark, it's black, it's satire, and it's so much fun. It's definitely a cult classic. You created this character a long, long time ago.
It has been a long time, yeah.
You take a little break, but now you've come back. This year we had some new Lenore comics from Titan for the first time. What's it been like coming back after that break?
It's like coming home. I needed this. I needed this so bad. I fell into doing animation design for a bunch of companies back to back, and before I knew it, almost 7 years had gone by since I had put out a book. And during that time, I just kept thinking of, oh, this would be a really funny adventure for Lenore if I did this or that. I wrote all those down over the last 7 years, so now I have a ton of new material to play with.
And like I said, it's been a cult classic, certainly a community. She's beloved, so I'm sure fans really responded. Lenore fans were happy to see her back. How's the reaction been? Have you had people coming up, hey, thanks for bringing her back?
I've had a lot of that. It's made me feel really good about this. I tend to forget that other people read this. I do it more as an outlet for myself, and then I'm really fortunate and glad that other people like it.
Well, that is one of the interesting things. You know, I mentioned it being kind of a black comedy. It's almost like with what's going on in the world right now, it is more important, I think, than ever to have connection, to tell stories like this with, you know, a fictional character that, despite the fact that she's dead and kind of goth, she's so happy and full of life and full of energy. But you do get to use the story to kind of, you know, make comments on the world and society and relationships and that sort of thing. So when you say you needed it, was that kind of what you're getting at? Kind of.
I definitely use it as my outlet to deal with some frustrations of what's going on in the world. I try to keep anything political out of my books, but I did one time in this new one. There's one panel that's going to make some people upset. One single panel, and he's just in the background. That's all it is. We're with a goat going, no! So it's nothing terrible. Hopefully I won't get death threats, but I forgot where I was going with this.
Well, what's about, you know, starting the conversation, right? And you know, working, like you said, through that frustration of, man, we should be in a better place. Can we all just get along? It sounds cliche, but...
Yeah, we're never going to do that. We're never going to all get along.
Well, using a character like this, though, that you know, it could be so dark. She is, you know, she's not aware that she's dead, you know, dead herself. But you really could go down a dark path. But choosing, you know, to really, in a way, we should all be a little more like her in terms of embracing life and being, you know, happy and having adventures. And I mean, you only live once, unless you're Lenore, apparently.
I'm going to say if we should all be more like her in a very limited sense. Otherwise, we're all going to be doomed.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the very origins of her. You know, her name is Lenore, so, and for anybody that's not aware, the classic Edgar Allan Poe poem, Lenore, is where you got the inspiration. So can you remember developing her, like getting the initial idea? And
it's a little fuzzy these days, but I do remember... She was spawned off my little cousin, like a toddler cousin, got a hold of a crayon or a pen, I can't remember anymore, and drew all over something. And in it, I saw Lenore. And I took it home that night. She looked a lot different when I first started drawing her. I have like a big tattoo of the old version of her. Yeah. So technically, I guess my toddler, she was designed by a toddler. And then over the years refined her to look like more of the cartoon version she is now. It all just seemed to fit so well to me because the Lenore, a dirge for the doubly dead and that she died so young. You know, it just her golden locks and all that.
Well, I think she is such an interesting character and so full of life, and she could fit in so many different worlds. And we had the Flash animation episodes. We've never really seen her in another medium, and I think it would translate really well. Any hopes to have her in something else at some point?
Constantly, it is constantly the hope. We have nonstop been trying to get a TV show or a feature film made of it, and as I'm fond of continuously saying, we keep getting so close, and then something terrible will happen right before a deal is finalized, and it all gets canceled. And the example I was just using earlier was COVID. Like, we were ready to sign a deal, and then COVID happened. So it's like the universe is trying to stop this, I swear.
Well, she does have a big following, as you mentioned, so I'm sure that someday it will happen, and I think it probably will help, spotlight and introduce her to new potential fans, and I think that's important because I love the world, and me being a voracious reader, like are you familiar at all with Stephen King's Midworld, like the Gunslinger, Dark Tower stuff at all? In my mind, she's a little girl from that world. I think she would fit in that world.
That's interesting, actually. Yeah, you're not wrong.
And so hopefully if she can come into some of these other mediums, we can see some pride. I mean, not that, we're pie in the sky in here that Stephen King would put her in a book because it doesn't, exactly fit. But things like that, like doing crossovers, would you be open to crossing her over with other properties at some point?
If it's one that I enjoy, like if I actually like and respect, 100%. Yeah, I'd be down with that.
That would be fantastic. Well, what do you hope, or what would you like to say to anyone out there in our audience that hasn't read any Lenore, hasn't discovered it yet? Where should they start, or is this new series with Titan a good thing to pick up to get started?
It's almost like there's two chapters of Lenore. Even though there's so many issues now, there's basically two chapters. There's the early classic stuff where she was even more absent-minded and spoke in almost broken English and was very simple and almost couldn't form thoughts. Very quick jokes, like 1 page to 4 page, little joke stories. Then there's the other ones where I started exploring it and trying to do longer tales that felt more rewarding to myself to get to do it that way. And those are the ones that I like. I'm not really a fan of my older stuff, so I've asked them to start putting Lenore Classic on it.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
We all start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But I definitely want to keep going the direction I'm going now, like with the new issue. Longer stories, just chaos. I love chaos in books. And I always try to make it so nobody can guess how my books will end. That's the thing I'm most proud of.
Well, it's so interesting too. We say it's a black comedy, and obviously she's a cute little dead girl, but it really this new storytelling really leans into science fiction. We get time travel, we get time traveling goats. Like, it's really I think fun for readers of all ages. Are you finding that it's reaching readers of different?
It hasn't been out long enough for me to know, but I hope so. Sci-fi has always been my jam. I was a writer on Invader Zim back in the day and stuff. Like, I love sci-fi. I'm more of sci-fi than I am horror. So yeah, it's cool to be able to dip down this road a little bit. It was fun. I want to do a little bit more sci-fi, but I also know that my base may not be into that. So I'm going to balance it.
Right.
The next issue that I'm turning in today, it's like on a flash drive in my pocket, is her getting cursed by a bee witch, like a witch that's a bee.
Nice.
So that feels like classic Lenore,
Well, I could see Lenore in space. I could see her having a space adventure if we're leaning into the sci-fi stuff. Why not? That would be fantastic.
Yeah. Or maybe go. I had one a long time ago about the people that live underground, like mole people or something, or long gnome guys.
Right. Yeah.
I've been wanting to revisit that. they've been down there training all these years, you know, like for a rematch, type of thing.
Yeah.
And they're just like amazing now, like with armor and all kinds of stuff. Like they would look like dwarves, you know, with like really cool gold axes and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm also worried I can't make each one of these things a battle book.
Right, yeah.
You know, sometimes they just need to be silly adventures.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, if anybody wants to follow you online and you have a presence at all, want to reach out about Lenore, let you know what they thought of it, that kind of thing. Are you active at all on social media?
I'm barely active on social media. I'm on there. You know, I'll post stuff like I have a signing today, but I don't really use it to its potential for sure. I'm on Instagram under the name Taxidermied, MYD.
Okay, I'll put a link to Roman's social media in the show notes, everybody. So yeah, go give him a follow and definitely check out Lenore.
Thank you very much.